Good morning, Tallahassee. It's time to wake up Warchant on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Here's Warchant.com's Aslan Hajavandi and Corey Clark.
You already heard the names. I'm Aslan. He's Corey Clark. We're both from Warchant.com. This is Wake Up Warchant right here on ESPN 97.9 Tallahassee. Brought to you by For the Table Hospitality in those 3 locations over in the College Town District, Madison Social, Central, and Township. Check them on out. Free parking, first 2 levels of that College Town parking garage, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. I can validate and verify that as being a fact because last week when I went to Madso, as the kids call it, Corey, for opening day, parked in the parking garage, came back to my car, no ticket.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
There you go.
I saw somebody actually at the little parking kiosk paying for parking, and I wanted to be like, yo, it's free. But then I didn't know if they were staying for a while, if they're on the 3rd deck maybe. Or the 4th.
Just let them be.
If they listen to the program, though,
they would know.
They would know these things. Corey, how are you, man?
I'm good, buddy. I'm good. How are you?
Good. We're going to call this a Will of the People Wednesday.
Okay.
Because we're not going to have a Renegade Express tomorrow. We're not going to have a show tomorrow, nor a show on Friday. So programming note, there will be no podcast.
So no point to even
Friday.
get up on Thursday and Friday. Certainly not at the crazy hour that you're up right now.
Yeah, so you people who are complaining about my lack of football knowledge, but you listen to the show because it helps you on your commute to work. Well, then your commute to work on Thursday and Friday will just be that much worse.
Right, but you won't have to hear crazy football opinions.
My gosh, you got to take one or the other, man.
Yeah, right.
We'll make this a Will of the Edition, Wednesday Will of the People edition of the program. So we'll dive into some of the tweets that we've got, some of the actual questions that we did get for the Renegade Express mailbag, because I did post a thread for it earlier in the week. But yeah, I'm going to just like humble brag. I'm going to Augusta. I'm going to the Masters. They're letting anybody there apparently now. Anybody can go.
Yeah, man. You have a ticket, or are you just going to show up and say?
I'm going to try. My buddy actually works security, and he says there's a vulnerability over like in the Northeast Gate.
Oh, good.
So I'm just going to. No, he's
they're not really strict around there. I don't think at all.
No. But no, he works for Mercedes-Benz. They have their corporate headquarters is like in Atlanta now. They moved down from Jersey. He actually worked for them in Jersey.
Oh, all right.
They moved to Atlanta. He moved his family to Atlanta, and they're full bore in the Georgia landscape of things. So they've got like a Mercedes-Benz hospitality tent. So we got tickets to that, and then we're actually going to go first day Thursday. We'll be there. So
that's the best day, I think.
Yeah,
but you're not going to a practice round. I feel like the Thursday is the best day to be it because it gets just too crowded the weekend. I
mean, I'd love to be there on Sunday, obviously, especially if Tiger wins.
You can't walk with the lead. I mean, it's impossible.
Yeah. I don't know how it's going to be. I've been to a couple golf tournaments just because growing up in Florida, they're popping up all over the place. But I've been there. Never been to the Masters.
Florida State's got a guy there, Harry Ellis. He's
okay.
I think he's a junior.
What about Daniel Berger?
No, and I don't think he might be there too. Koepka's hurt. Yeah. I should look that up. But Harry Ellis won the British Amateur, so he gets to play even though he's still an amateur, obviously, because he's at Florida State. So that's kind of cool. So actually, that's where Jeff Cameron is this week. He's in Augusta too, and Trey Jones, I guess Cameron will be back today, but Trey Jones, the Florida State coach, is there too to be with his protege.
What should I yell if I get close enough to the tee box?
Dilly dilly.
No.
Actually, I just saw they released.
I'm gonna yell Jimbo Fisher.
Jimbo Fisher. You could do that. Yeah, they released a list of things you couldn't yell, or you'll get escorted off immediately, and dilly dilly is one of them.
Nice.
Which I'm all behind. I'm all for. I'm sure you can't yell Baba Booey either.
Oh, no.
But, I mean, that's just so people. That's just so it's so cliche to yell Baba Booey. It's just craziness. But dilly dilly, I thought was kind of funny that somebody had to write that on a sheet of paper. Things you can't say at the Masters. Dilly dilly.
Went to the College World Series 4 years ago, and I was doing a stand up out front of TD Ameritrade Park, and some guy bombed me with Baba Booey.
Yeah.
I was doing my thing. I'm like, welcome out here to Omaha, Nebraska. Aslan Hodge is out here. And he goes, Baba Booey. I'm like, oh, that's so awesome, dude. All your friends in Jackson, Mississippi can see that. Oh, you're not from Jackson? Okay, got it.
You idiot.
All right. Not speaking of idiots, good guy. There's idiots out there, but this is a good guy, apparently. Let's get right to it here, Corey. They want to talk about football, the people. It's the Will of the People Wednesday. Let's get right to it. Wolf Blade Z. Man, he's got a fierce logo as well. It's just a wolf looking really angry. He tweets at us. What is the deal? Question mark. JP #9, but it's actually the number 9, numeric 9. JP9, which is Jacques Patrick.
Right.
By the way, you say it, I think, almost in a joking fashion, calling him Jacques, but really like Jacques Cousteau, right? I mean, the way it's spelled,
the way it's spelled, the pronunciation should be Jacques. It just should. It's a French name.
And I think Willie even kind of corrected me the other day. I'm like, hey, is Jacques all right? He's like, who? And I'm like, he's like, Jacques? He's like, yeah, he's good.
So maybe they call him that too. I know Jimbo called him Jacques, and his teammates have called him Jacques, but maybe somebody got to him and said, look, man, if you're going to spell your name like that, you got to go with Jacques.
Do you want to do a like? I don't want to throw you off your game for headlines if you're going to call him Jacques on there, but then you call him Jacques on here. But should we like?
No, I try to call him Jacques as much as possible.
Okay, all right, I'll do it too.
Because he eats a croissant.
Okay,
he's Jacques.
Baguette.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm with you. We're gonna call him Jacques Patrick on this program, everybody. From this point forward,
deal with it.
Jacques Patrick, number 9, has done nothing wrong on the field not to get more carries. Even in 2017, FSU's offensive functioned better with a good balance between 3 and 9. Blame the 2017 OC for the red zone. Basically saying he's done nothing wrong. Why are, I guess, people predicting perhaps the demise of him and sharing carries with all these other guys?
Oh, I don't know. I hope that's not directed at us because I say repeatedly how good I think he is, and he is good. And I thought he was good last year. Those guys are going to have to fight for scraps, but I think 3 and 9 are the guys that are going to be getting the carry, or 23 and 19 if they don't get their numbers back. But Akers and Patrick are going to be fighting for the majority of the carries. I would say when you look back at the season, if those two guys are healthy, they will have split 75 to 80% of the carries.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what you want. I mean, you got a big senior bruiser. You got one of the best players in the country in front of them, but they're going to be splitting the carry. They're different enough backs that I think it's a nice combination, a nice duo.
Yeah, I watched the game last night from Oregon from last season, and sure enough, man, they've got 2 guys they like to give the ball to. I'm trying to find the depth chart, but I can't find it right now because I'm terrible at pre-producing and playing.
He wore the Freeman. Out. I mean, the Freeman kid had a ton of carries. Like he had 3 he maybe had 5 games over 25 carries. Or
yes. So 6. I'm thinking, but he's got there was pretty much 2 guys that kept getting the ball. So yeah, Jacques Patrick's going to be that other guy. It's weird. I think people just assume LeBourne's a 5-star. He redshirted, so it's time to unleash the beast. And Amir Rasul's got speed, and Zaquandre Wright's got a good blend of all of it. So, surely they have to get the ball. You cannot keep those guys on the bench. And it's like, well, you're going to have to take Akers or Patrick off the field to put them on the field to a certain degree. Now, you can put sorts of all crazy formations and packages you want out there, but they're the ones that are going to carry the ball. They're the ones that got to get in rhythm. Watching a couple of these games that I've watched from Willie, and obviously I've watched 3 games of him from Oregon, so I can't make the biggest sort of judge of things, but there's none of this. He's not going to bring a guy in on the 7th play or the 7th series of a game just cause to try something out. It's going to be unless Patrick and Akers are both running horribly, which I don't see happening. I don't know when Amir Rasul's going to touch the ball. I don't know when Kalen LeBourne going to touch the ball.
I think they'll have specific packages for Rasul where he's in the backfield with Akers, and you have 2 tailbacks back there, and they both run flare routes, and you throw it to whoever has the best matchup. I mean, you could do that kind of stuff. You can put one in motion and then hand the ball to the other one up the middle. I mean, I think they're going to do a lot of that kind of stuff. I don't think it's going to be necessarily Akers, you're out, LeBourne, you're in, or or Patrick, you're out, Rasul, you're in. I think he's going to have that's why the 2 fullbacks moved to tight end. If he's going to have 2 backs in the backfield, which he'll do that a lot, I think they're going to be they're going to be 2 tailbacks in there a good bit too. It's not going to be just Patrick and Akers. I think it'll be Akers, Rasul, Patrick, LeBourne, Akers. You know what I mean? I think he's going to mix and match, which you should. You have great running backs. Get them on the field. Try to maximize your strength, and you have really good running backs. Get them the ball a lot.
It's not a bad idea. Bad ideas are not getting paid. We need to stop and do a commercial break for one of those. Gosh, it's getting worse. The transitions are getting worse.
All right, man. But it's hard, man. That's a lot of pressure, and it's not. It's coming. As soon as the segment starts, at some point I got to figure out a way to get to this commercial. Yeah. I need to be looking for my my exit ramp.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a crash and burn under the overpass.
Right.
But you're always trying, man. You got exit ramps you got 4 exit ramps
every show. I hit the pylons like the
yeah. You start making that noise. So man, I get it.
We'll be right back. It's Wake Up Warchant.
You're locked in to Wake Up Warchant on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Oh yeah. Yeah. All these horses in my car got me going fast. I just wanna do the dash, put my pedal to the gas. Going
That's right.
so fast, hope I don't crash.
Skirt. All right, so this is what the kids are listening to these days, Corey.
Is this Migos?
This is P&B Rock, Kodak Black, and Brady's favorite rapper, A Boogie with a hoodie.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's called Horses. The reason I know the song now is because this is what Willie's playing at practice, people. Come out to practice. This is what they're playing.
Yeah, man.
This is what they're practicing to. I'm bringing you guys the culture of what's going on at Florida State University and the football program. These are the songs they're listening to, man. And the reason I know this is because, so we'll post video from practice, and even if this stuff is playing in the background, very low, over whistles and people yelling and grunting and everything, YouTube's algorithm listens and sees the waveform of whatever is uploaded and matches it to things. So this song is playing in the background, and it keeps getting flagged. It's saying that we're doing copyright infringement.
Really? And
it's like, no, man, I'm showing you guys football practice. Yeah. This song happens to be playing. So, and I'm not one to tell Willie what to do with his practices, except maybe make them later in the day. But the music is it's not going anywhere. But yeah, that's how I figured out about it. I got an email from like Warner Brothers Music, and they're like, "Yo, stop using our music." And I'm like, "I'm not using your music, bro. I'm just out showing Taggart
to stop using your music.
Taggart era, man. Get with it."
Yeah,
this is how we're doing it. Show brought to you by For the Table Hospitality and their 3 awesome locations over in Collegetown, Madison Social, Central, and Township. They had dueling pianos at Township the other night. I think they're doing it later this month as well. I'll get a date on that for you guys.
You're gonna have a date?
Well, no. I mean, like an actual. I'll give you the date on the calendar.
Oh, okay. But you could have a date there too.
You could. Dueling pianos is always a good thing.
That's fun. Yeah, people sing along. It's a good time.
Yeah,
you embarrass yourself.
They used to do one in Tampa, and they had like a big mirror on the wall next to the pianos, and for like $20, you could request a song for them to play, and they'd also like write a message up on the mirror for you.
I was there for one of my birthday parties, so a dueling pianos in Atlanta, and I had to go up on stage. My buddies paid for me to go up on stage so they can embarrass me. They just made me sing the meow song. Meow, 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 meow. That one. Yeah. That was really hard to do when I was, a few beverages in.
I got you.
It just sounded like Mao.
All right, let's get back to it. It's Will of the People Wednesday. We will not be having a Wake Up Warchant tomorrow and Friday due to me going to Augusta National to watch the Masters, but we'll be back at it on Monday, strong.
So you going Thursday and Friday?
Well, no, just I'm going Thursday. I won't be back in time Friday.
Yeah.
And then
I got
obviously,
you. Cool if you go Friday too, though.
Yeah, it would not hurt. It would not be a bad thing. So we actually ended up getting a hotel in Conyers. My buddy got one in Conyers, so we're going to stay there overnight Thursday because it gets a little bit closer than driving from Woodstock on Thursday morning.
All right.
So yeah, I don't know. He's I'm like, whatever, man. You figure it out. He's the Georgian now. It's so funny because he's from Jersey. He's so like anti-South. He hates like slow drawls and like country.
Get used to it, my man.
I'm like, bro,
get used to it.
This is what you did, man.
If you're comparing New Jersey to Georgia, you're losing that battle every time, buddy.
Peach State.
Yeah, go to the Turnpike.
Yeah. All right. So yesterday upset a lot of people because comments I made about Brian Burns losing a one-on-one battle and predicting the demise of not only he but the entire Florida State defensive line. Yeah. Now this is my issue here is that. We could celebrate Derek Kelly, perhaps, right? Well, look at Derek Kelly, man. Derek Kelly coming out, putting All-American candidate Brian Burns on his back. But my thing is this, though, is that, all right, man, he lost a one-on-one. Get over it. It's not that big of a deal. But if he whips somebody, then it's like, oh, dude, Brian Burns totally put him on his, he's going to tear it up, bro. 15 sacks minimum. Peter Boulware, buckle up, coming for your record. But he loses one. It's like, dude, like this idiot doesn't know about football. I mean, you lose when it happens. My thing is, it wasn't just one rep. It hasn't been just one day. I've been watching him out there, and he's been doing good. He's getting praise from not Brad Long, but rather Mark Snyder. What's going on back? There's like stuff playing in the background, freaking me out. So that's my thing is that we pick and choose, especially fans. And I guess you want, I don't know, that's the whole thing. I'm supposed to spoon feed everybody optimism right now. It's spring. Everything should be fine. Everything's going to be good. But listen, man, somebody needs to dominate on that defense. And there's nobody at the linebacker position that we should expect to dominate on defense because all those guys are going to be first-year starters. That secondary is very young. I know Levante Taylor's got some of that, that edge in him that we like, the dog in him, as the other guy used to say. But like that defensive line is just a lot of, I don't want to say hope and prayer because you do have talent and you've seen flashes of it.
But you did say that yesterday.
I did say what?
Hope and prayer.
I mean, to a certain degree, though. So Marvin Wilson, what have we seen from Marvin Wilson that we can be like, solid. We're good there. We're good there.
Oh man, it's the recruiting rankings. Nothing.
Exactly.
Nothing. You just assume because
Wally May is switching positions. What can you?
That's the guy that
objectively
I've
seen, say.
But that's the guy when you're talking about things that I've seen in my limited practice watching. That's the guy to me that stood out.
I've heard Snyder compliment him.
He looks like he could be
a
real nice player for this defensive line. Not just a guy that holds the edge, but a difference maker.
Okay.
But yeah, man. Again,
that's a little bit difference maker. That's a bridge.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's there. I don't think he's a guy who's just a stopgap. I think he's a guy they expect to make plays and be a force because he's big and quick and he's got a chance. They obviously like his body type for that spot, so we'll see how he does with it. He hasn't done much his first 2 years here, but that doesn't mean he won't. But yeah, man, I get it, and it's always weird in the spring too because if a receiver looks good, then that means the DB is getting burnt and it's yours. So
yeah,
what's your takeaway? Yeah, DJ Matthews looked great on that 45-yard post. Well, who was the guy that got burned by him? He didn't look great. So does that mean he's not any good? Does that mean DJ Matthews is unguardable? I mean, that's the weird part about spring and judging practice. We were talking about practice, not games, practice. So, I think that's where it gets hard to really analyze the spring because, it's always coming at the expense of a player on the same team. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, great. Derek Kelly did look really good. Upshaw looked really good in the Pops, looked really good in the Oklahoma drill that we saw. Upshur, sorry, not Upshaw. He looked really good, and I knew that didn't sound right in my head. He looked great in the Oklahoma drills, but that was at the expense of Dontavius Jackson, who he put on his back.
He did.
So that's, is that good or bad?
Well, there's ways to lose, and then there's ways of getting beat in that drill. You can get beat. You don't want to lose in that drill.
Yeah.
Like Brian Burns lost a drill, and it's okay. And listen, and then somebody was saying something like, I don't know anything about football because Burns is going to we're going to use him laterally. We don't need him to take a man on. Because at the defensive end position, all you're going to do is just run around guys all the time. You're never going to have to man up on somebody.
Yeah, see, and put your nose. The point I would say about that is that it is such a narrow alleyway. It's 2 yards wide. Yeah. He really can't use his strengths against Derek Kelly. I would be more impressed watching Derek Kelly be able to laterally move and keep him in front of him,
right? As
opposed to just pushing him out of the way because you better push him out of the way. You outweigh him by about 100 pounds, so you should. But at the same time, it's not great when he gets, when your starting defense gets pushed out of the way.
Might know that kind of stuff. Teams might kind of go at that kind of stuff as well.
That's how it works. That's the DeMarcus Walkers that can hold the edge and get around the guys. They're not in high supply. I mean, there's not a lot of them. So Brian Burns is a speed rusher. He's not an edge keeper like my man Josh Sweat, who couldn't do anything
except run like a 4 or 5.
Yeah, no athlete at all. Just holding the edge.
All right, so I watched the game last night. There's a guy on YouTube, bless his heart, man. He literally he'll cut up the game, and a lot of guys do this. I think there's a guy, Sena Funk, Mandarin Knoll, used to do this for Florida State. So they would condense the game down to about 30 minutes.
By the way, those people are doing the Lord's work, yeoman's work. It's awesome. You do that with basketball games. It's great. Thank you. Everyone out there that's doing that, thank you very much for condensing a 3.5-hour game into 26 minutes.
It's amazing. Well, this guy does it for Oregon. I don't know if he does it for the Pac-12 or Oregon, but he does it, and he'll just only do offensive plays. So it's even further parsed down. Why do I want to watch Jim Leavitt's defense in Oregon? I don't care. Sell out. Way to stay up in Oregon, loser. Have fun in Eugene.
Yeah, good luck. Have fun with the hippies.
Yeah, dude. But I'm so I don't want to watch them win. Just don't. I don't want to watch any game they've won. Because I equate it to dating, and I don't want if you're a girl and you look good and you don't look good in a dress and heels and your hair all done. If girls like to put photos of them as bridesmaids on dating websites. If you don't look good as a bridesmaid when you've had all day to get dressed up and everything, then it's probably not going to be that good looking of a girl.
What's your picture on Tinder?
My picture on Tinder is me on the field at the Sugar Bowl this past year, Alabama and Clemson.
Oh, okay. So it's a fresh picture.
Yeah, and I'm in a suit and tie, which I'm being a little bit hypocritical.
Man, come on now.
I'm showing you my best, but I'm sprinkling some other stuff. So my thing is it's like a filter. You're only seeing I don't want to see him whipping up on Arizona. I think they actually did beat Arizona. That was one of the teams they beat of substance, of relative substance.
So you only watch Oregon games where they lose?
Yeah. So that's all I want. That's all I'm interested in. Because
it's an interesting mindset.
You win the game, okay, awesome. You win the game, fantastic. But I want to be able to live and see what you did to lose a game.
But are you watching him without his starting quarterback? Those games?
Yes. Taylor Burmeister.
Have you watched one with the starting quarterback? Because
I don't think so.
I think they lost a game or two with him.
He missed 5 games. They were 1-4 in the games he didn't play in. So I've been watching most of those because they've lost them. Obviously, I want to watch.
But you don't want to see what it looks like at peak efficiency, peak operation.
Yeah, because I don't think.
All right, well that's odd.
I don't think anybody translates to who he is. I think Burmeister is a more athletic.
No, I mean just the pace of the game, like how quickly they rip off a 12-yard run.
How they're still ripping off. I was watching UCLA game yesterday. That's a game I watched. The game against UCLA, which they lost. I think they only scored 14 or 17 points. And I think one of them was a defensive or special teams touchdown because they didn't show it or because they had the replay of it. I just want to see in terms of, I don't know, like I guess we can say James Blackman's maybe like a Justin Herbert. He's more of a natural pocket guy with some athletic ability.
Right.
But Burmeister, the guy that had to fill in for most of him in those 5 games, to me, he's a more athletic Francois, less of a skilled passer. Right. More athletic Hockman, more skilled passer. So he's kind of like he's between Hockman and Francois. I would kind of size him up as. And yeah, man, he was calling games with more or less one hand tied behind his back because the kid couldn't throw very well at all. I was encouraged though. They strung together some really good drives. They had a couple bad penalties. I reached out to somebody from the Oregonian. I want to get them on here and talk about things because I just want to ask the guy, what's it like when you cover a team who leads the nation in penalties? Like, do you feel that? Do you know?
Right.
You're like, we're watching a team that does nothing but penalizes every, like,
and we talked about this, it feels like a month ago or 6 weeks ago about how they were really close to dead last in penalties.
They were dead last.
And then the 2 years before, they were still like in the hundreds or maybe close to it too. And I wonder what happened there. What's that about? That's odd. Because when you think of teams that are penalized the most, you frankly think of the Florida schools. Mm-hmm. I didn't know Oregon was out there racking up 11 penalties a game. Why was that part of their culture? And because obviously it wasn't Taggart. It was there before Taggart. I wonder what the story is there.
Yeah, and I went back and looked at 14 and 15 when he was at USF, and they were middle of the pack. So it's not a Willie thing either. Yeah. So, just a bizarre thing. But I just want to kind of get his thoughts on that. But watching that, the first drive of the game, they popped off some good runs. And I want to say they either fumbled on the first or the second drive. But otherwise, they got into the red zone before the first half closed, like 2 minutes, and they ran that guy. Watching Burmeister play, maybe I do need to watch some more of Herbert because if it's going to be Blackman, it's going to have to be more of a Herbert-style offense. Because
either way, whoever's the quarterback is going to be a better thrower than that dude, Oregon's second-string quarterback.
Burmeister, yeah.
Because Francois can throw it too, and Blackman can throw it. They're more advanced and they're better quarterbacks than who he had for 5 of those games last year.
But I don't think anybody's as athletic as the second-string quarterback in terms of running the ball. Like this kid, they would run quarterback draws from him. He'd rip off 13 yards.
That's why I'd say I feel like you should watch the one with the starting quarterback because I don't feel like Blackman and Francois are going to be running 12 times a game. I don't think that's going to be a huge part of the offense. So see what it looks like.
But why not though? Because
I just don't think that's what I don't think he necessarily wants to do that with those guys as much.
Are you going to throw more? Or are you going to give the ball to Patrick
I think he's going to give it to his stable of running backs.
But I mean, Royce Freeman, listen, like Akers is awesome. I love Cam Akers. Akers is going to be one of the 3-4 best running backs in the nation. Royce Freeman's not chopped liver. We don't have to get into the origin of that word, but like, listen, Royce Freeman's really good, man. To look at that offense, if you're going to look at Oregon's offense and be like, well, they got Cam Akers, we're going to run for 9,000. Well, no, you'll probably be just as good as they had, if not probably a little bit better. I don't think it's going to be a head and shoulders improvement over what they had run the ball with Royce Freeman.
I think the depth is what's the improvement. Not Akers versus Freeman. That could be a wash, although I think Akers is more talented. That could be a wash.
Yeah.
But
not substantially,
you also got Patrick and LeBourne and Rasul, and I just think the bevy of guys that he has to give the ball to is something that he didn't necessarily have there. But anyway, I would, in fact, I'm going to go and watch it but I'm going to watch it with the starting quarterback because I want to see how it operates at peak efficiency, and I want to see how it operates when you don't have a mobile threat. When you don't have a guy that you're going to – because I really don't think he's going to do that with Francois. And this isn't Quentin Flowers. I mean, these guys can run, but I don't think he wants Blackman to run it 12 times a game unless it's just there because the defensive end will not stay home.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be handing the ball off a lot, and I still want to see what that looks like.
I mean, this kid he had some bursts and he had really good acceleration. I remember watching him. So I'm like, I don't think James definitely doesn't have that in his game. DeAndre maybe, but they were much more willing to let him kind of run by design. James will do fine rolling out of the pocket and if things break down, but it's not going to be part of the sort of the arsenal. But maybe I will look at it. I think the thing I struggled with was he was obviously injured, so I wanted to watch the games that they're struggling to see why they struggled. And I think he might have came on towards the end of the year and they played like Oregon State. Oregon State was an absolute dumpster fire. That's, I didn't really want to watch that because I'm like, how good of a team really was Oregon State. So But yeah, I'll be more optimistic. I'll look at the good times.
Watch the 16 South Florida team.
Maybe I'll get to that after I'm done with Oregon.
No, you should, because I think that quarterback was there the whole year.
But he was, Quentin Flowers, there's nobody.
No, but he couldn't throw. He wasn't a very good thrower, but he could really run. But I think it's interesting if you watch this, and I know we got to go to break, but the 16 team with a running quarterback, the 17 team with the starting quarterback that can throw, and how he fits the offense into the strength of who the quarterback is and what the quarterback can do.
Yeah, let's do that. All right, we'll be right back after this. Wake Up Warchant, ESPN 97.9 Tallahassee.
The excitement of the Willie Taggart era at Florida State is in full force. That's why now's the perfect time to sign up at Warchant.com. Warchant.com will have wall-to-wall coverage of spring football practice, including the latest on position battles, coach and player interviews, video features, and in-depth analysis. Warchant.com's three-team writers Gene Williams, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark have 50 years of experience covering the Seminoles. And Warchant.com is the only FSU media outlet with a dedicated full-time recruiting analyst in Tallahassee with the latest on the 2019 class. For your 30-day free trial subscription, head to Warchant.com and use promo code WARCHANT30.
What's up, world? I'm Aslan. He's Corey Clark. This is Wake Up Warchant right here on ESPN 97.9 Tallahassee. Wake Up Warchant brought to you by For the Table Hospitality in those three locations over in the College Town District, Madison Social, Central, and Township. All right, Corey, we're continuing our Will of the People Wednesday, looking at comments, questions on all sorts of social media. I was thinking I should probably only feed the trolls if they post on the tribal council, because then at least you're paying.
Agreed.
Like, you shouldn't be able to not pay anything and then me talk about you.
Agreed.
Okay, we'll do that.
With that.
All right, with that said, let's go to the mini sort of Renegade Express.
Do we have a Twitter account? Wake Up Warchant?
We do, yeah, all one word, at Wake Up Warchant.
Guys, follow it. Love it. Yeah. Breathe it. Let it sink in.
Yeah, shout out to Tom Bovey, who tweeted at us the other day. Minnesota born and raised, but I was a Knowles fan before P-Dub, but he made me a lifer. Jersey still hangs in my house, and he provided a photo of Peter Warrick's 80 from the Bengals with some
that
photos.
Jersey.
Yeah,
that's different than the other.
Dude, and it's like glass encased, like a nice cedar frame around it. And you have Tom help me out with my move.
Yeah, Peter Warrick, man, he had that. It was just everybody loved that dude just because he was you couldn't not watch him.
Yeah. He was awesome. Maybe DJ Matthews can make us dream again.
Make us forget all about him.
All right, Anonymous 911. I got a good one that I would love to hear Taggart get asked. I'll state it in question form as if I'm the one asking. By the way, people, it's probably we're never going to be able to ask your questions to him. Because
we don't get a lot of time.
Yeah,
we can, but it depends on what the question is.
Yeah, all right. So, Tag, say you have a couple successful seasons and Saban retires in a couple years and Bama comes calling. Would you leave? You stayed at FSU as your dream school, but understandably, Bama would be hard to turn down.
Yeah, I don't think we'll probably ask him that. It's more of a hypothetical. We'll wait till Alabama actually comes calling to ask him that, and then he'll deny it because that's what
coaches do.
They do. Yeah.
All right, Mills FSU 28. How many of the new tight ends who came from the fullback group will go to linebacker? I can see 32 on that side of the ball in the fall.
We were talking about that yesterday, right, or 2 days ago.
That'd be Gabe Neighbors is number 32.
I mean, I wouldn't know. Maybe Vickers would too. It's crazy, man. Jonathan Vickers is probably a really good running back. Probably. I mean, he was good in high school.
Ryan Green was a really good running back.
We're getting crazy athlete, Ryan Green. And it's really hard to get carries at a place like this. It has been. I mean, Ryan Green, he might have been, if he'd have gone to, like, say, Bowling Green or Miami of Ohio, might be the school's all-time leading rusher. I mean, that dude was an athletic freak and just could not get on the field. He should have gotten on the field in some capacity when he was here. Yeah. He didn't. But, so you think about like a guy like Jonathan Vickers who just had no chance. You go to Florida State, there's going to be 5 running backs ahead of you, like the kid from Buford that's coming in.
Yeah, Anthony Grant.
You better be really good, and he could be. He might be better than these guys, but they're all not going to get carries, and some of you will just have a college career where you get 12 carries and mop-up duty or transfer.
And I feel bad for those guys. I need to stop. I got to flush. Because everything else about me is just cold-blooded. But I still feel bad for kids that come here and then they never get a chance.
But I would say we haven't heard any of that, but I would think like Neighbors would be the most likely if that were to happen. If he just sees, well, look, I'm not going to play fullback here because that position apparently doesn't exist, and I'm not better than these guys at tight end. I'll never get on the field that way. Let's move me somewhere where I can play.
Yeah, because right now you got McKitty, you got Upshur, you got Vickers, And then
Neighbors.
I think the only person I would say that I've seen get less reps and touch them is that Alexander Marshall guy. And he's a redshirt freshman. So, like, if that's the only guy you're ahead of on the depth chart, and then they bring this Cam McDonald kid from, Long Beach.
Right.
#Westside Knowles.
You got to feel like that's a Willie guy. None of these other guys are Willie guys. That's a Willie guy. So he might, everything being equal, he might go with the guy that he recruited and signed. It probably shouldn't be that way, but that's human nature.
Ultimately, I would think this stuff's got to happen sooner than later, or maybe you give the kid a full spring. Talking about Neighbors or Vickers, just like give them a whole spring, and then that way, when you sit them down in your office, you have a more honest discussion as opposed to 6 practices in. But yeah, I would figure they'll probably finish the string out here in spring, playing where they're at. Then maybe when they we reconvene in the summer, then they'll we'll get some number updates. Guys single digit, then we'll hear about guys moving positions, but. Yeah, it's not a bad idea because linebacker, obviously, there's a lot of hope and prayer there. Right? I'm not being a jerk saying that, right?
No, there's the guys on the defensive line have proved some things. The guys at linebacker have proved no things.
Yeah. All right, Get Down Black. It's from Miami, 305. Hey, guys, just curious, are the plays being called in by signs with different pictures on it? And what are some of the pictures the offense is using? It's going to be weird seeing that on our sidelines. Thanks, guys.
I haven't seen that at practice.
Nope, they don't do it.
But I do think they're going to do it in the game sometimes.
I looked at USF 16 because somebody did ask that question last week about whether we're going to have a bottle of Tide and then Daffy Duck next to a stack of hundreds and then a face of Snoop Dogg.
Picture me.
And that's going to mean power, right?
Right.
But at USF, somebody was holding up a card, but it was no bigger than it wasn't an 8x11, but it was no big poster, and it didn't have a whole bunch of funky stuff on it. Probably just had a number on it.
Right.
So that's the way they communicate. And we were able to talk to Derek Kelly the other day, talking about the speed, the tempo. Right. Are you going? And the question somebody asked a few weeks ago on the Renegade Express about whether the offensive line has to ID guys, whether it's a middle linebacker or anything like that. And he's like, no, we just go. They're going to get everything from the sideline, but I don't think it's going to be fun, quirky cards. It just sounds like they're probably going to have some sort of numbering system that they're going to look over, or hand signals.
We'll see. I feel like I asked him that, and he said that they do the signs, but I might have misheard him.
Yeah.
Either way, we'll see in the spring game for sure, because that would be the time to do it. Right now, they're definitely not doing it.
Yeah, and the 2 practices that were fully open to us, and they actually would break into 11-on-11 stuff, and the coaches were on headsets. Yeah. We didn't see any of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was 2 practices, not what they're doing now.
Yeah, that was day 1 and day 2 as well.
So we don't know if they did it in the scrimmage. I think they have a scrimmage this Saturday too. So well, maybe we'll ask them that later on today. Willie, in the scrimmage, are you going to hold up the signs? Is that how you're going to communicate with them? And we'll see from there.
And what does one have to do to
get on the sign? Yeah. Me and Jeff, when we met with him off the record for a few minutes, me and Jeff Cameron and I were both the Jeff
Cameron Show right here on ESPN 97.9.
Exactly,
3 to 6 o'clock weekdays.
We're both kind of trying to angle to get our pictures on one of the signs.
Yeah.
So.
Dude, there's a photo. There's a big head of Jeff Cameron behind you.
Yes.
With a steely gaze that looks through my soul every day.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable. It's been there for years.
I might need to put a sheet over that
or burn it. It's crazy. Yeah, it's hard to look at.
He senses right into my soul. All right, here's the other one that we had from Absolute Noel, but with an E, not like Absolute the drink, but Absolute.
Yeah, you spelled it correctly.
Why are all the quarterbacks wearing knee braces?
Are they?
They are. Well, I mean, Blackman's got a brace on.
I know DeAndre did, but
obviously, for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
About Bailey, I don't know. I don't want to get too sanctimonious here, which means I'm about to get sanctimonious. So somebody was asking on the boards about where the helmet protectors, the cushions that the former guy used to have over the helmets of the players.
Right.
And I went and looked, and they brought that with them at College Station. They are wearing those, but it's only like his offensive and defensive lines, I think.
Right.
So I asked Willie that because one of you people on Warchant asked it, so I was carrying out the will of the people. And Willie just looked at me like I was an idiot, which is fine. I'm not offended by it or anything. He's just like, I'm like, you gonna I asked him like, you gonna do that? He's like, nah. And he literally said like, nah. And that's awesome. That's cool, right? Yeah.
Do they do the
we're
GPS?
not soft.
Are they doing the GPS stuff?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I'd like to ask.
Maybe we're gonna ask him that.
Or do they all go to College Station as well?
I don't know. So he says that, and it's cool, right? Like, yeah, Willie. We don't want that stuff on our helmets. It's soft. We're a football team.
Oh, the brown,
the cushion. Yeah. Oh, come on, we're soft. Let's get strong, man. It's football. People get hurt. Deal with it. Stop being a sissy. But then everybody wears a knee brace. for preventative reasons, right? Because we don't want offensive linemen to get rolled up on and hurt themselves.
I get the offensive linemen. Are they legit wearing knee braces? The running backs and the receivers and the quarterbacks?
He was asking why are the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I don't think Hawkman is. I'm trying to envision sweet number 10.
sweet Bailey Hawkman.
But Blackman, I want to say, does have a knee brace
all right. On. Well, yeah, I don't know. Maybe they all tore their ACLs and they're not telling us.
It's preventative stuff. Like the offensive line uses it for preventative measures. Obviously, with Francois, it's because he's coming off the mend. Blackman, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just some sort of thing. Plant leg, you don't want to leave it vulnerable. If somebody does roll up on you, it just gives you that much more of an insurance policy. But like that's the thing. Like that's being prudent. That's smart.
Yeah.
Making these guys wear the knee braces. Putting things on the helmets is you're being soft.
What do the helmet things do?
Dude, so you don't get as much, like you're not as prone to being concussed.
Oh, all right.
Oh, you're not interested about that at all. No, all right, let's step aside for our final break of the day.
Why don't they let them wear them in the games then? Let's make football safe.
Wake Up War Chants coming right back after this.
Darn pop-ups and video ads.
Are you wasting your time again on clickbait FSU updates that are bloated down with ads?
Yeah. And after crashing my computer, the information isn't even up to date. You're on warchant.com. What's really going on with the Seminoles?
For the real scoop, you'll need to get your own Warchant subscription.
What's it cost?
Free. There's a 30-day trial offer right now.
You know I like free. Sign me up.
Use the promo code WARCHANT30. That's WARCHANT30. Nobody has more accurate and timely information on the Noles than Warchant.com.
Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole source.
Baby, you a song, you make me want to roll my windows down and cruise.
So one of my saving graces has been that even the people that don't appreciate my football knowledge still think I play pretty decent music, that's all I'm hanging my hat on at this point. Right?
Yeah, that's all you got.
It's a Will of the People Wednesday.
But that song wasn't your fault. You would ask my son Brady, who's in the studio with us,
what
his favorite song is. But you played the wrong one. It's Florida Georgia Line with Nelly.
Oh, there's a Nelly version?
There's a Nelly version in there. That's his favorite one. He knows the whole Nelly rap in the middle of it because he's a weird kid.
He's doing good. He's a good kid, man. What's up, Brady? Shout out. Yeah, Brady's in the house, man.
What up, Brady? Hey, Brady, say hello to everyone real quick.
He's throwing up deuces. There he is, yeah. He's throwing up deuces just like Pops does.
Yep.
Don't ever stop.
Coolest 9-year-old on the planet.
Darn tune. All right, this show brought to you by For the Table Hospitality, and there are 3 great locations over in the Collegetown District, Madison Social, Township, and Central. You know what to do. Check them out. Real quick, something that has nothing to do with football. Sorry, everybody. Corey, so we're going to be a little closer friends here now. I'm leaving my apartment. It looks like it's happening.
Oh, man.
It's happening. So I'm going to be moving to Midtown, I think, here. I got to get my application approved. So anyway, I have to fill out this 4-page application to rent a house. I'm not going to buy because, the housing market right now is just too robust.
Right.
And on there it puts local emergency contact. I can't put my mother down. She's not local. It has local in bold and underlined. So I put you down.
Oh, nice.
You're the emergency contact.
I hope they text because if they call and I don't recognize the number... Daddy's not answering, so hopefully they text if it's an emergency.
And then we've exchanged emails, and I'm like, listen, I'm going to need a day or two to make sure that my property management company currently will actually let me out of my lease without penalty before I can, she's like, okay, well, just let me know as soon as you can because I'm just getting a lot of calls on this property. I'm like, yeah. Realtors are the worst. I'm not even trying to buy a house. Stop trying to give this artificial demand that's going on. Then I met her yesterday. Yesterday evening to give her, the $50 application fee, which is non-refundable, and then my lousy application, which is like, listen, man, you got my driver's license and my social security. Go run my credit check, see that I have good credit. Let's get this done. Anyhow, so I give it to her. She's like, all right, well, I'll try to get this done as fast as I can so that we can go ahead and get started because, I'm just getting calls left and right about this house, and I just want to stop, And I'm like, I get it, okay?
Yeah.
This is
I get the sell. The sell's working.
It's the worst.
It was weird. I was in a good enough place a few years ago when I was renting a house in Atlanta that I paid for the whole year in cash.
Ooh.
It's nice. It was fun. They liked me. That's why I moved to the front of the line.
Yeah.
But they still had to do a credit check. And I'm like, wait. And not that I have bad credit. I have fine credit. But it's like, what does it matter with my credit check? What does it matter if you have my driver's license?
Yeah.
Here's the money up front. We're good.
Yeah.
Let me be. But they still had to run a credit check, and I still had to fill out an application and all that nonsense.
They want references that aren't my friends. I'm like, then if they're not my friend, like,
your enemies.
Yeah. This guy that I punched in the face at Potbellies back in 2004. Catch up with him, see what he thinks about me. But it should be fine. Maybe I won't be as grumpy.
Or the young woman you went on a date with. How'd that go? You had date number 2 yet?
Oh no, dude! That was the worst read from a Florida State guy since James Blackman against Clemson.
Just throwing right to the safety.
I thought, dude, I walked out of there. I'm like, that was a really, really good date. Like, I'm not one of these guys that looks at the cues. I'm just like, if the conversation's going fine, laughing at the jokes, like, a good date when you've had a good date.
Right.
I've had a couple bad ones. I never really have a bad date per se. But I'm like, I knocked it out of the park, crushed it. I mean, she's like kicking me under the table, like playing footsies with me, like, gives me this like long, big, squeezy and hug goodbye and everything. I'm like, see you on Friday, baby girl. Text her a few times, and I'm just like, I'm going to need to borrow you again for a night to take you out again. I'm like, we should grab a drink or something. And then she responds actually just straight up like, I didn't feel the chemistry. Did you? And I'm like, really? I'm like, really?
That's funny.
So I was just like, I don't really agree with that. I'm like, but no hard feelings.
Did you say I don't agree with that?
Yeah, I literally said, I don't really agree with that, assessment, but I'm like, no hard feelings, take care. It's like, if you ever want to hang as friends,
you should have said yes tonight. Midnight. Your house.
And I'm like, we can go out and we can go walk at the farmer's market together as friends.
Man, it's got to be really hard. It's hard for guys. It's a lot easier than it was in my day because you can just text and DM as opposed to actually calling someone up.
This would be crushing if I put real work. Like I had to suck up and actually go talk to her at a bar and get a number. And
how painful it is for a woman to have to reject someone face to face.
Yeah,
that's got to be really hard too. And I would think most of an attractive woman's life, at least for the first 20 to 25 years, is rejecting guys.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not interested in you. Please take the hint. They're being polite, trying to be, but with, doing the Heisman, like, please get away. Yeah. I'm not interested. That's got to be really hard I feel it, women. I feel for you because that's got to be really off-putting and doesn't make you feel great about yourself when you hurt someone else's feelings. But you have to, because otherwise men are so dumb, they're going to think they had a great date with you.
Yeah.
So they're going to think the chemistry's flying.
If she never responded back, I'd be like, I don't know,
She might have been kicking your foot, and you thought you were playing footsies. Like, she was trying to kick you to say, hey,
just shut up already.
Yeah, please quit with this conversation.
Stop talking about your ex-girlfriend the whole time.
Yeah, so that's rough, man. Dating's rough.
Yeah, I'll be all right. We shall survive. We'll persevere and all that. All right, let's talk about some other things.
We had to get that in since we don't have Tinder Thursday this week.
Yeah, no Tinder Thursday this week. Maybe I'll find a girl in Augusta or something. Maybe I'll find some, woman on the rebound at the
Hey, love is out there everywhere, man.
It is out
where
there.
You're looking. Hey, real quick, we didn't talk about it yesterday.
Let's talk about baseball. Or whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah, I was going to say, Andrew Karp's pitching today, so they're going to stick with a week in rotation. We'll see how that goes. I feel like Austin Pollock gets one more chance. And if he's not good at Georgia Tech, that's not working. That's not happening. But what I was going to say is, watching the Villanova-Michigan game on Monday night, obviously Florida State had a very good chance of being in the championship. They really did. They played themselves in where they had a chance to be in the championship game. If they beat Michigan, you have to think they at least have a pretty decent chance of beating Loyola Chicago. But I would feel like Florida State fans can rest easy knowing they were not winning the national championship this year. They would have not had any shot. They would have had an 8% shot to beat that Villanova team. That Villanova team is really good.
Loser mentality.
But no chance.
Loser mentality.
No chance. Because they can. Villanova's really good defensively, too. It's not like they just. I think Florida State hung with that Duke team, who was really good offensively. They couldn't guard anyone. But Villanova guards you, too. And they have better players than you. And they had a guy that goes for 32 that doesn't even start.
No, I totally agree. No, I was being facetious. I totally agree with you. Somebody actually posted on the Tribal Council, warchant.com. Hop over there, get your free 30-day trial. That, it should have been us getting beat by Villanova last night.
Yeah, getting your butts beat by Villanova.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's all right, but there's somebody in there that was like, I don't know. I think we would have played them a lot better than Michigan did. And it's like,
no, there's no. I mean, Michigan's good. Michigan didn't hit any threes, but there's nothing to think that Florida State would have been raining threes. You always have a puncher's chance when you got shooters, but yeah, the best team won. It doesn't happen every year, but the best team won the national championship. Villanova was incredibly good.
Yeah.
I don't know when that happened, by the way. When did all of a sudden they become a powerhouse?
Well, I saw, somebody was tweeting about they haven't had a top 20 recruiting class in the last, 4 or 5 years. Stars don't matter. It's all about culture. It's all about culture.
Come on, man. But I mean, they were all on Brunson. Everybody wanted Brunson.
Yeah.
And basketball recruiting is different because they might have only signed 2 kids. So if you sign a 5-star and a 3-star, well, what is that? What's your ranking? What's your average star
when
ranking?
Kentucky's having constantly year in year out to sign like 5 guys because they're losing 5 to the pros every year, and they're always 5-stars. So. Yeah, that helps take things down a little bit smoother. I saw somebody that was like, Florida State, we're lucky we even got that far. We had a really good draw.
No.
What are you talking about?
A really bad draw.
They were a
really
1 seed, like on the road. Then they took down, a team that was in the national championship last year. I know they lost a lot of guys, but
that was still a good team. Yeah. They beat 2 straight. They had to play 3 straight teams that had won over 30 games, which is a huge number. They beat Xavier. They beat Gonzaga, who had both were like 32-4. Zaga, sorry.
That's okay. You probably never have to say that name again.
The Zogs. And then hung with Michigan. Down 2 with 20 seconds left to a team that finished a runner-up and won 33 games.
Yeah.
They played well in the tournament, man. They'll get back there next year and they'll win the whole thing.
Future's bright. Hey, actually, there was something I did want to talk about. Can we do overtime for like 6 minutes?
6 minutes, yeah.
6 minutes.
All right,
Maybe
sure.
less than that, probably, because it's going to be really uncomfortable. Yeah. We'll be right back.
Good.
If you're listening to the radio program, we're done. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week. If you're listening on the podcast, we'll come back with an overtime segment of sorts, and then we'll see you probably on Monday as well. Keep it here, or have a great day if you want to.
You're locked in to Wake Up War Chant on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
All right, no music needed. It's overtime. I'm Aslan Hajavandi, Director of Digital Media for WarChant.com, alongside Corey Clark, Senior Writer and Columnist for WarChant.com. We will not be having a program on Thursday or Friday, so figured we just kind of maybe shoehorn something in here and chew the fat on a topic that I saw on the message boards. It probably won't be 6 minutes because you'll probably just scoff at me for even bringing this up. But I did see somebody posted on the Tribal Council, WarChant.com.
Okay.
Hop over there. And it was, how come Florida State doesn't play FAMU?
Oh.
And there's a couple guys that, are like, what, let's try to make this work. And by a couple guys, I mean probably 2 out of the 30. And then the other 28 were like, it's a horrible, horrible idea. Now, I don't know the full history of things, and I know you obviously were in Tallahassee longer than I've been, but you're not born and raised in Tallahassee, so the dynamics of things are a little bit lost on both of us, perhaps. But I know there's the whole thing in the 90s when they played basketball, there was a bit of an ugly scene where there was an actual altercation during the game between the teams.
Big brawl. Sam Cassell picked up a pencil off press row. That was always the rumor. Oh yeah, it was a bad, nasty brawl.
All right,
and I think that's when they said we're not doing it in anything. I mean, they play him, I think, in like softball, maybe.
Yeah.
In track.
So I mean,
basketball, quite honestly, there's no need to play FAMU because they have been horrid, and they need to figure that out.
Yeah. Football's not much better either.
It isn't, but I don't think they would. I don't think FSU wants to, and quite frankly, I'm not sure FAM wants to because they play these big money grab games. Well, they want to go somewhere.
Yeah,
you don't want to go like on a road trip just down Gain Street. It's not a road trip. You'd rather go to Coral Gables or Norman, Oklahoma, or Columbus, Ohio, some of the places they've gone in recent years.
Well, a lot of people say, what's there to gain? What is there? There's nothing for Florida State to gain by playing this. Well, what is there to gain by playing Delaware State?
No, there's nothing.
What is there to gain by playing Charleston Southern?
It's more. There's more to it than that. I think maybe they don't think the crowd situation would be great because you have a crowd that, what I've been told, would feel more like the stepchild as opposed to this university gets all the attention, all the money, all the students, and so there could be an element there that maybe an element with the dynamics of the crowd that might not be great. Certainly in that basketball game there was, but I don't know. I don't know how often it happens in other cities, other cities like Duke. Well, Duke never plays North Carolina Central,
right?
And they're both in Durham. Like, I don't know that or maybe they do. I don't know. I just don't think that happens a lot.
Yeah, like UNC doesn't play A&T.
Right. Miami played.
I don't think A&M plays Texas Southern.
Right. I don't know how that works.
Mississippi State plays Jackson State, but they're not in the same city, obviously. I mean, not that Texas Southern and A&M are either, but they're somewhat close because I think A&M's college station is not too far from Houston. That's where Texas Southern's at.
Right.
So, I mean, you're talking about a historically black college playing a major Division I program. I mean, my thing is, I understand the fans. There's certain people that say like there's a certain segment of FAMU fans that really, really resent Florida State. Like,
of course,
they like Miami.
Of course they would.
I don't know why. Like, what are they competing for? They're not competing for anything in the same realm. I mean, what is it? Dollars in education? And I don't think football fans are mad that FAMU's not getting front billing on the engineering school. Like, that's not the animus behind.
Well, I mean, that's just how that. To me, that's just human nature. You're another university in the city, and you feel like 97% of the attention in the city is always directed at one school and not you. And FAMU does have a pretty storied history in football. It's been bad for a long time, and that needs to be figured out because there's no excuse for FAMU to be as bad as it's been for this long. Listen, they haven't been relevant were they relevant when you went to school?
No.
Yeah, they haven't been relevant in like 20 years, it doesn't feel like. No. 25 years.
I mean, I think if FAM was, the Democrat would be all over it. CTV and the TV station would be all over it. So it's not like there's a conspiracy to not give FAM proper due. It's just, I mean, everyone loves a winner. If you're not going to be doing all that well, that's why you're not going to get the attention that you want. I don't think anyone's casting a negative light on them. I just think like when you're playing, again, like you're playing at Delaware State, like why not just bring FAM in and play them? And I think the game would be so probably lopsided that you're not, how can you get that upset when your team gets beat 55-10? I think that the more worrisome thing would be like a basketball game that's close. Or like a football game, if it's like a 28-21 game, and they really think they're going to win, and then they lose, then it's like, the ref screwed us, and then maybe there's going to be that sort of hostile sort of element takes over of a game when fans are going to be, having high emotions. I don't know. I just thought it wouldn't be the worst thing, but I defer to you and not even so much you, but the masses around here that obviously have lived in Tallahassee longer. I mean, everybody on that thread is like, this is a horrible idea.
That must have been the last time they played in basketball was the Cassell game and the brawl. And then football, I don't know if they've ever played in football. Maybe not. I don't know they've played in football since I've been alive, which has been forever. So yeah, I don't know. I certainly don't think it's happening anytime soon. Because there's not a whole lot to gain for either school. Like I just think if you're Florida A&M and you're going to play a big boy, why would you play a big boy down the road? What good would that do?
Help your local economy.
I mean, they're getting help no matter if you play or not. But why not go play a different city?
Go to Knoxville or
something, or South Carolina, or even Gainesville, or just why go down the road? That's no road trip. That's no reward for those guys to go get their brains beat in, which they do every year against these big schools. That's how they support their whole athletic program is for them to go lose 48-10.
Yeah. Oh, and somebody's yelling, I'm sure, at their radio right now. We do realize that Miami and FIU played. And they're fairly close to each other, and that was a pretty bad situation.
That was a pretty bad brawl, too. I was trying to remember that, but also, FIU is not FCS either. That's a D1. But that was a ugly scene, too. I just think there's always going to be animosity with two schools that are on different levels in the same city.
But see, they're on different levels. That's why I don't understand why there is.
That's how it is. You get your chance against the ones that always get you always get the attention, and you want to show yourself. You want to prove yourself. Well, then you're getting beat 31-6, and you're mad. I don't know. I just think there's a reason that they don't do it. Delaware State comes in, doesn't take any. They don't care. They're just here for a paycheck. Florida A&M, it matters more. There's a pride on the line.
Yeah, that's fair.
When there's pride on the line, maybe it's a little more tempting to, try harder and feel the pain more, and then stuff happens. Obviously, they didn't like whatever was happening in that basketball game 25 years ago. Imagine Charlie Ward's been involved in. I assume he was in that game. Maybe that was still football season, so he wasn't playing. But he was involved in that huge Knicks Heat brawl.
Oh yeah,
I think he kind of started it. I do, which is crazy. He did like a weird block out on Alonzo Mourning or something. Next thing you know, Jeff Van Gundy's grabbing somebody's leg, getting dragged across the court. Oh, man, Charlie Ward was in the middle of that one.
See, we'll go right off this, though. This would be the good thing if, like, once we start taking over the world, when football season rolls around and it becomes like the Clark and Hudgevandy show, it's not like we ditch this Wake Up Warchant moniker and just like Clark and Hudgevandy, and we do noon to 2 o'clock live.
See, now you're talking.
Yeah, we'd have like callers, like we'd have like FAMU Fred, who would like call in right now, like, listen, let me tell you this is why we should do it or not do it.
Well, and I do not like, I hope that if people still are listening to this segment, please understand that we both come from a naive place. We don't know. We're not from here.
Yeah.
I've been a Florida State fan. I was a Florida State fan my whole life, but I don't know the real backstory there and what would happen. So we're not speaking with any sort of authority. We're just taking guesses. I'm just assuming what the reason was. I know the brawl at the basketball game, people frowned at that. Wasn't a great moment for either institution. But they do play in other sports. They do play softball. I think they do play tennis. They do play volleyball. It's just the two big ones, basketball and football. In baseball, they'll never do it as long as Shoop is there, because
11 doesn't want to lose a Shoop, right?
Well, I was going to say, and that would be a weird deal. So, but the three big ones, quote unquote, I don't think they've played them. I know they haven't played. Didn't FAM have Florida on the ropes in a regional game? Not like an actual series. But
they
beat
Florida
a couple years ago in a midweek game, and then they went down there for a regional. And that's what I was going to say is they were really worried because when FAMU won the conference tournament, the MEAC, they're like, man, they might just send them right down the road to Gaines Street, and if 11 has any favors to call in, send them anywhere else. Send them anywhere else because there's. Jamie Shoop obviously was the pitching coach at Florida State before Mike Bell took over, and he was fired and then took over at FAMU, where he's done a very nice job there. But he probably doesn't have probably wouldn't be. I don't think him and Martin are on sending Christmas cards to each other right now.
It'd be a nice moment though to see them at the plate handing over lineup cards.
Maybe 11 can get his 3,000th win against him.
Yeah, I'm almost meant to break that down. He's 10 away. Potentially what? Chestnut Hill, they're thinking, or maybe even Fenway? He could get it?
Could be Fenway. They play one of those games up there. Could be in DeLand against Stetson in a midweek game.
Poor guy.
When you look at the schedule, man, I think people assume they would sweep someone like Duke at home, but Duke's number 10 in the country. Duke's 23-5. And, you got Georgia Tech just swept Miami. You're going up there for 3. I mean, there aren't a lot of gimme wins over the next 3 weeks.
If they win out, it would be versus Stetson and Tallahassee on the 18th.
Yeah, they're not winning out because Florida's in there.
Yeah, and they got Duke, and they might lose one to Tech just because.
They're more than that. I mean, Georgia Tech's not bad, and they just, like I said, they just swept Miami, and it's at Tech, and the weather's supposed to be terrible. So, look, man, none of these games coming up are really gimmies. So it could be into, it could be late April into May, I guess. Really,
late April would be in Tallahassee against Miami.
Well, that's where I'm thinking it might happen, which would be good. Like I said, it would be fitting because that's where he got his first one against Miami.
Poetic. Football, baseball guys love that kind of stuff.
They do. It's something to write about. Maybe a little narrative,
maybe
a little storyline.
Maybe a Clark column.
That's what we do.
All right, we're done here, man.
Love you guys.
We won't be back tomorrow nor Friday, but we'll stay together as a family. We'll be back on Monday with another edition of Wake Up Warchant. He's Corey Maslon. Thanks for listening, folks. Take care.
These recruiting updates are nothing but fluff.
Are you wasting your time again on free blogs and social media to get the scoop on FSU recruiting?
Yeah, it's all bait and switch. Get me excited with a headline, but get nothing in return. You're on warchant.com. What's really going on with FSU recruiting?
Could be another top 5 class, but for the real scoop, you'll need to get your own Warchant subscription.
What's it cost?
Free. There's a 30-day trial offer. Just sign up and you'll get full access through signing day. And nobody has more accurate and timely information on recruiting than Warchant.com.
You know I like free. Sign me up. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole source.